Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That $40-ish and under dollar range, and most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. Just like this one that I found at my local rack store. For once, I found one at my local rack store. It's been a minute since I found one there. And I want to talk about the house of, well, this particular fragrance is Valentino Uomo Intense. And if you can't tell immediately, this is cloning Valentino Uomo Intense. And there's a little telltale sticker on the bottom that lets you know this is a Middle Eastern clone of something. So this opens up, according to the website, the one that I found, it opens up with mandarin and sage. And the mid is iris and tonka, and the base is vanilla, and it said and dot because it like cut it off, and I think it's leather, because in Valentino Uomo Intense it's vanilla and leather. And even before I looked up the notes in Valentino, I was like, it's probably leather or something, because I kind of get that a little bit. So the top notes, the mandarin and the clary sage, are completely outshined by the iris, tonka, and vanilla. Those are the stars in this fragrance. And this particular one is the iris, the tonka, and the vanilla. The powderiness, dustiness from the tonka, which also can have a vanilla type of a scent profile. The sweetness from the vanilla, complementing that thick, rich, waxy iris. If you don't like iris, if you don't like Dior Homme Intense, stuff like that, then stay away from this one, because you won't like it, because that's what the key player in this is. There is small hints of that mandarin. Oh yeah, the atomizer on this, I didn't even, it's not pressurized, but at least they stepped it back up to like average to maybe slightly above average. Yeah, iris, sweet vanilla iris, powdery tonka, bits and pieces of that clary sage giving it a little bit of a spiciness. The mandarin is maybe some distant player way off in the distance in the top, but I mean, if I didn't read it, I wouldn't have said that it was in there. And the leather is like just keeping this from being an all-out feminine kind of a fragrance. It just makes it to where it's not leaning completely on the women's side of things. So I think this is a unisex fragrance. It's going to be an evening, cool weather kind of a wear. It's a little more grown up, I would think, than it is youthful, because it's dusty and iris heavy. And as far as how accurate it is to Valentino Uomo Intense, I think that the Valentino Uomo Intense is a little bit drier. It's not as iris heavy. There is actually some detectable citrus in that one, and the vanilla is a little bit sweeter in a way of, like, not necessarily sweeter, but like a more natural vanilla, not as like heavy, if you know what I mean, but still being a cool weather evening kind of a fragrance. They didn't like nail it with this one, but it's pretty close. This leans like in between Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo Intense. I haven't smelled Valentino Uomo Intense a whole bunch of times, so I can't speak too accurately on it, but I do know what it smells like, and from what I remember, it's like it kind of lands a little bit in the middle there. It's like a sweet version of Dior Homme Intense with a little bit less iris, but still iris heavy. So the performance on this one is the only thing that didn't vibe real well with me, because I wasn't getting much more than 3 hours out of this, which was really disappointing, because it smells good. I thought that it was going to last a little bit longer. I was hoping for the 4 or 5 hour mark. Now you can take that with a grain of salt, I guess, because it's like they just pumped these things out, right? From what I understand, a designer fragrance, if you go ahead and, if you got yourself an actual designer fragrance, right? They all macerate, but it's going to mature while it's there. They let it sit there and do what it's supposed to do and mature, so when you get it, it is how it's supposed to be. Whereas these ones, you get that oxygen in there a little bit, 5 or 6 weeks later, it's like a totally different fragrance sometimes in my experience. A good example is this one right here. The performance was terrible. The smell was pretty decent. I like the way that it smelled. Now, I'm like, this thing has changed for the better. It's even richer. It's even denser. It lasts way longer. It's louder. Everything that I wanted in this fragrance is better. And things that I didn't even know that I wanted in there are there now. So, yeah, that's what these tend to do, it seems like. So, there we go. So, if you get this thing and it doesn't perform real well, let the thing sit for a minute. If I was a betting man, I would say that it's definitely going to increase because 8 out of 10 of these do. So it's a little more a little more mature than it is youthful because of the dusty, iris-heavy accord in this. Cool weather, doesn't last very long. Like I said, in the future, I feel like it will last long. Scent profile, just a scent, is like a 6, but since it's a poor performer, as poor of a performer it is, it's like a 4.5. I can't even justify saying a 5 because it performs so poorly. But it's $12.99. It's a couple dollars more than Axe and smells way better than Axe. So it's an eau de parfum and it has that eau de parfum feel. So there's that. And yeah, 6 out of 10. Cool weather fragrance. Out of the shower, you know, this could work for like a date. Because it's somewhat subtle and it has kind of that appeal, that kind of sexiness with the iris vanilla thing going on. It does have a touch of sexiness to it. So I feel like this could work a little bit on a date. And yeah, that's my final thoughts on Valencia Uomo Intense. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.